Hello? Is it working? I don't fucking know. Oh damn, I just said fuck in the first 30 seconds. Oh dear. Coming to you live from wherever the fuck this is meant to be. It's me. I want to start this off with a little joke. Now imagine, right, if aliens came down to this planet. Oh god, that looks weird. It looks more like an aeroplane than a spaceship. Aliens come down to this planet and they meet with humanity, and the first person they meet is like a trans person or non-binary or something like that. And the alien's like, "We are the Kashmari from planet Caesar 2. We want to know about humans." And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's a designation male. Actually, I identify as a cat." The fuck are they gonna think? They're gonna analyzation, delusional human female. Be quite funny. Now, so let's first of all start with England. England, yeah, we've got some interesting things going over here in England at the moment. How would you like to go to jail? That's a very weird neon jail right there. Hello. Yeah, we'd like to go to jail. Because if in the next election next year, I think it's next year, you vote Labour, there's a chance that you could possibly end up in jail. Yeah, I'll explain that. Labour wants to bring in a law, if they win the election, that misgendering someone will be a crime and can get you a 2-year prison sentence. Now, how they'll get that through the House of Lords, I have no idea. But I mean, can you imagine that? But you go to prison, right? And the guy says, "Oh, you're talking to people, you're like, what are you in for?" "Oh, I stabbed someone." "Oh, what are you in for?" "No, rape." "What are you in for?" "I called a man a woman." They'd be like, "You fucking what?" I say, "Yeah, just called a man a woman." Or, "I didn't realise that someone was a Z, and I just called him a bloke." Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, that's what Labour want to do. So I advise everyone, whether you see this or not, tell everyone you know. Everyone in the next election in England, especially in England, I don't know about anyone else, but vote Conservatives. Because as much as Rishi Sunak is a bit of a prick, what with him wanting to raise raise the age at which you can buy cigarettes by a year every year, which is a stupid idea. I don't think that'll go through the House of Lords either. But I mean, he's on about implementing it. As much as he's a prick for doing that, I think Labour will be far much worse. Because I mean, like, putting you in prison for misgendering is only the first step, really. I mean, next they'll be putting in all the other fucking weird transgender ideology bullshit into law, and that'll be it. This country will go to the dogs. But then that won't be too much of a problem, because that will be overwritten by the rise of radical Islam, which the Labour Party also seem to want to support. The Labour Party had problems a couple of years back with anti-Semitism, and now they seem to be fully in support-ish of radical Islam, the radical Islamists. God, that's a difficult word to say. Islamists. So yeah, so we'll have all this transgender legislation put into the law, and then when Islam takes over the country, all that transgender stuff will have to be taken out of the law again, because of course Muslims don't like transgender people. So yeah, could be interesting. If either of those two things happen, I'm getting the fuck out of this country. I don't care how I'm going to do it. I'm gonna take my laptop, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna sell everything off that I own so I can get a passport and a plane ticket, and I'm just fucking out of here if I can. So yeah, so vote Conservatives. For fuck's sake, vote Conservatives. Same in America, because over in America you've got some interesting people over there, politicians who want to bring transgender stuff into law and all that sort of thing. Misgendering is already a problem over there, and all that sort of stuff. And over here and over there, we've got the protest marches, whether they for Israel or Palestine, which is a country that doesn't exist. If you wonder what I was going to do there, I was going to say doesn't exist. So yeah, I mean, both our great nations have some serious issues, and if you don't vote for the conservative side of your government, whether it be here in England or over in America, the situation's only going to get worse. Got a couple of comments popping up here before we continue. Yeah, that is a particularly good point. I will point out though that they want to make deliberate misgendering a crime, not accidental. Because we can all do it accidentally, can't we? Especially when someone wakes up tomorrow morning and decides they want to be a Zidem, and the day before you knew them as Jack the Man. You know, obviously you're not going to know he's a Zidem until he tells you. So obviously you're probably going to misgender him, until the election. Well, actually, I'm a Zidem now. I'm a non-binary. No such thing. Yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous. And the question is, how would you prove it? That's the thing. How would you prove it didn't happen, as the comment says? But how would you prove it did as well? I mean, it's like rape allegations. I mean, here in this country, the idea of rape, it's like a pendulum. One way, one time it goes all the way over there, and it's let's believe everyone who claims to have been raped, no matter what. And then it goes all the way over there a little while later, and let's not believe anyone that claims to have been raped. So some people can go to prison for being falsely accused of rape, and then a few years later, people who have raped someone get away with it, and it goes back again, and it goes back again. It needs to stay somewhere in the middle, but obviously we can't find that happy middle ground of that sort of thing. Obviously, probably we're never going to stop people being raped. Well, it's the same thing. It's a weird analogy to use, but it's the same thing. I mean, how are you going to prove that this was a deliberate misgendering? Because when it goes to court, the prosecution is going to have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that you had some kind of malicious intent in your misgendering. So, I mean, unless someone stood there recording the whole thing, which they probably won't, because who's going to do that? You know, unless just people walk around with personal body cameras on, just recording the whole time, just in case someone wants to cause some kind of problem. And then, well, if the country ends up like that, then we're well and truly fucked, aren't we? If everyone has to walk around with a personal body camera in case someone wants to lie about them or cause trouble or whatever, fucking hell, this place won't be worth living in. But it does beg the question: what will you do if someone accuses you of misgendering them? Right? I mean, they're going to have to either find witnesses, because the CCTV usually doesn't have any sound, so that's not going to be very useful. That's just going to show that the two of you are there talking to each other in some way. So they have to find the witnesses and get them to come in if they want to come in, because they may not want to come in, because they may not want to get involved, because it can affect their lives as well. All this cancel culture and shit that we have. You say one bad thing against the wrong type of person, and you are screwed royally. You can lose your job, you can lose your friends, you can get kicked off social networks and social media. Yes, I said both because they're two different things. And you just no one wants the trouble. So witnesses will be very hard to find. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, people do record everything for TikTok these days. but they're usually a bit late with the starting of the recording. It's once the argument starts, then everyone pulls out their phone and starts recording it. No one ever gets to the beginning of the conversation. Every TikTok video I've seen, because I haven't seen many, just ones that are reacted to on YouTube, the video always starts halfway through the argument. So you never know how it starts. Like, was this person the aggressor or was that person the aggressor? You never really know, but they're just having a go at each other, Karens and things, all funny. So yeah, vote Conservative. If you value the values of your country and you want to keep your country the way it should be, the way it's always been, vote Conservative. And someone needs to remind me later to come back onto something else in America because I haven't written it down and I've just been reminded of it. So, speaking of values and things, let's move on to the Israel-Hamas situation, or the Israel-Gaza situation, or the Israel-Palestine situation, whatever you want to call it. This is an interesting one. I've been doing quite a bit of research into this because obviously I didn't want to make any kind of comment about it without knowing anything. So, I don't want to give a complete history of Israel because I already mentioned a little bit about it in a previous video, and I am quite knowledgeable about this sort of thing. But obviously, Israel is a relatively new country. It was founded sometime in the 40s, the 1940s, that is, for anyone watching this in the year 3000. If it's still available. Hello, Poocha. Israel had the right of the situation. Right? Israel gave the land of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip to the so-called Palestinians. Right? And the minute they did that, the Palestinians in Gaza started attacking them. Okay, fair enough. But more recently, it's of course Hamas that are doing this, because the power in Gaza, and well, they're a much bigger problem than all the others, with their tunnel networks and their rocket launchers being placed in the schoolyards and their base being under a hospital and all that sort of stuff, so that you can't really bomb them without killing innocent civilians, which is what they want you to do. However, it seems that the people of Gaza are really pissed off with Hamas at the moment. The people of Gaza, the ordinary, everyday, working class, if you want to call them that, people, are rising up against Hamas and saying, you know what, you're the cause of all this shit. Fuck off. And that's great. And hopefully that will be the start of a fostering of a good relationship between the Palestinian people and Israel. Because obviously there are a lot of Muslims that live in Israel, especially within the city of Jerusalem, who get on really well with the Jews and the Christians and everyone else that lives there. It's a very sort of multicultural, nobody is oppressed kind of place. Jerusalem's been there for years as a sort of safe space, if you want to call it that, for everyone. Right? And of course, Israel have been maintaining that. There's been several Muslims who live in Israel who have said, that these people say that Israelis are horrible people and they treat us like crap. Well, I've lived here all my life and they've always treated me very well. Some of my best friends are Jewish. So, but the way it's been told to the world is that Israel are like the aggressors and that they've been blockading Gaza for years and blah, 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 blah. But that's not entirely true. What they had to do was put up a border and a border crossing between Israel and the Gaza Strip, possibly even between Israel and the West Bank. Because certain people in Gaza would go across into Israel when there wasn't really a border there, kill innocent people, and go back again. So now they have to regulate who comes into their country, much like we do with like airport customs and passport control and all that sort of stuff, just like every other country does around the world. Like you can't cross the border from France into Italy without going through some kind of border crossing. You can't go from America to Mexico the USA to Mexico without going through some kind of border crossing. It's the same thing. It's not segregation, it's a border crossing between two countries. Not that Palestine is actually a country, but you know what I mean. And it really is a testament to what people think of the people living in Gaza when Turkey, who of course has a large Muslim population, this started with Hamas, with the attacks on October. Turkey just shut their border. Israel retaliated. Turkey shut the border and said, you know what, you could all get fucked away into our country, mate. And nobody else wants them either. Nobody wants the Palestinians. They're happy to support them, like Iran is sort of supporting them, and Hezbollah, they're sort of supporting them, and one or two other places over there, Muslim countries are supporting them, but they don't want them in their country. Like, we'll support you, we'll stand by your side, we'll help you fight if it comes to it, but you stay the fuck out of our country, we don't want you. So that says a lot about them, really, doesn't it? But I like how the people of Gaza are now rising up against Hamas, because that gives the Israeli force like an ally who could tell them where all the tunnels are and stuff like that, and how they can find the weapons caches and things. It's great. And it could help Israel win quicker. Because, they're going to win anyway. They're a superior force. But it could help them win quicker. It could be over by Christmas. Then again, they said that about World War I in 1915. But of course, the whole problem with all this conflict is all around the world, especially over here in England and over in America, and in places like France and Germany. There's a lot of pro-Hamas supporters. That they say they're marching for Palestine, and they have all the weird slogans that they say. I'm not really going to repeat any of them because I don't see the point. But what they're really marching for is in support of Hamas. Because while they might also support the Palestinians themselves, they're also supporting the idea that Hamas wants to wipe out the Israelis. Now, they put this down as anti-Semitism. Well, I would go further than that and call it something worse, because anti-Semitism is just hating Jewish people. Okay, fair enough. But Hamas are hating Jewish people to the point of genocide. People have compared them to Hitler and the Third Reich, which is a pretty good comparison, actually, because, Hitler wanted to wipe out the Jews, but I don't think he actually wanted to wipe out the entire fucking country of Israel. And then again, the entire country of Israel didn't exist when Hitler was exterminating the Jews. So, but I think it was created after that. Yeah, not long after World War II finished. But it looks like we might be heading towards World War III soon anyway, so maybe Hitler's vision will come true and all peoples that Hitler considers to be inferior will be wiped out. I don't know. But he hated Jewish people, he hated black people. But we have a lot of these pro-Hamas, anti-Israel rallies in this country. Every Saturday, it seems, for some reason. Probably because they don't want to miss a football. I don't know. And, you get the odd pro-Israel ones as well, and you can see the difference between the two. The pro-Israel demonstrations are like peaceful and quiet, and people are just there to show support, with their little signs and things and Jewish flags, and, for the flag of Israel, rather. And then you see the the pro-Palestinian ones, and they're shouting and chanting and making a hell of a lot of noise, and they're defacing statues, and they graffitied the fucking cenotaph. For those who don't know, if you don't live in England, the cenotaph is like our memorial to the fallen soldiers of both world wars. It's a big, symbol in our country of like freedom, liberty, and fighting oppression, basically. and they spray graffiti in it. Personally, I agree with what several people have been saying. We should round up all these pro-Hamas supporters in our country and in your countries, and put them on the first plane to Gaza. You support them so much, well, you go and fucking live there. Because I want you to fuck out of my country. And I'm sure there's a gentleman out there that would agree with me. His name is Tommy Robinson. I'm sure he would agree with me. He's a nice guy, as our Tommy. Although the media portray him as a right-wing yobbo football hooligan. But he actually doesn't seem to be one. Very interesting, that, isn't it? Yeah. And if you don't believe me, go and check out Maya2C TV. He has a live stream from a few weeks ago where he was filming, and he was right near Tommy Robinson almost the whole time. And he was polite, he was friendly, and he caused no trouble whatsoever. But immediately afterwards, about an hour or two afterwards, when it was on the news, they were saying he was done this wrong, he'd done that wrong, he was throwing stuff at the police, this, that, and the other. You can watch the whole live stream. He does nothing. So, we all know how biased the media is about these sorts of things. But yeah, we need to kick these people out of our fucking countries, really. Speaking of kicking things off, yeah, I've got a list here of talking points. Speaking of kicking things off, every country around the world needs to ban TikTok. Granted, a lot of YouTube users that I watch get a lot of content from TikTok that they connect to and point out the stupidity of and whatever, and it's really great fun to see these idiots making a fool of themselves, and then YouTube users going, this fucking moron, Jesus. Ah, yes. You watched the live stream, did you? Yeah. He was absolutely lovely. Which is interesting, because he was absolutely lovely and also a complete dickhead, apparently. So, yeah. We all know which one is true. If you didn't watch that live stream, I'll recommend go and watch it. It's up there as a recording now. You can watch it whenever you like. I'll pop a link in the description when this is all done to Maya2C, and you'll be able to go and watch it. He was absolutely lovely. I wish I was there because I'd love to have a conversation with him. But yeah, we need to ban TikTok. Now, there are several countries all around the world so far that have already banned TikTok. I don't know who they are, but a couple of countries around the world have banned TikTok because they see its negative influence on the. And I think we should ban it too, and I think so should America. Because the youth of our two countries is being really affected by this shit. They watch all this crap over and over and over again. Like in short video, right? And it's like bombarding them with all this shit, trans ideology, and for some reason they're all converting to Islam now and all this other stuff. It's bombarding them with all these stupid ideas, and the only way to get that in fucking schools and colleges now, they really don't need to get it from the internet as well. And so we really need to just ban it, or at least put on some kind of filter or something that can filter out all this crap. Because it's just one big echo chamber of nonsense that is being drilled into these kids' heads. That they all should be non-binary dogs who hate white people or something like that, and all this other crap that they get bombarded with. Because you're white, you're racist and privileged and stuff, and because you're black, you're disadvantaged and being, people are being racist towards you, and no one likes you, and so on and so forth. And because you're transgender, people ain't gonna like you, so you should go and commit suicide. What? And all the misinformation it puts out about our puberty blockers are perfectly safe, and cross-sex hormones are perfectly safe, and they say that people under the age of 18 don't get surgery to become, transgender. But then you see people that are like, well, I had a double mastectomy at the age of 15. Well, obviously they're wrong, then, aren't they? I haven't got any error levels, but that doesn't add up to me either. I spotted that one. I'm hoping next time I do a live stream, I'll get more people in the chat. I didn't really give enough time, really. I just give it half an hour because I've never done this before. So, I've done live videos, but this is live streaming. No. You can have the chat thing. Couldn't do that before when I just did a live video. No chat box. No. It was just, here's me doing a live video. If I fuck up, tough shit. And then all the comments can come afterwards. No, you can have a little chat box there on the side. It's interesting. So yeah, ban TikTok. Definitely. UK government and American government, not that you'll be watching this video, but if you're listening, somehow, ban TikTok. Get rid of it. And if people want to watch it, they can use a VPN or something. So I mentioned influencers, especially on TikTok, converting to Islam. They're all converting to Islam, which is bloody stupid, but also really annoying because everyone who watches them is going to think, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that as well. Yeah, let's all convert to it. No. I mean, Islam is a relatively peaceful religion, much like every other religion. But I question the motives of these people converting to Islam. Are you converting to Islam because you see it as a peaceful religion? Or are you converting to Islam because you're a Jew-hating son of a bitch? If you're converting for the right reasons, fair enough, more power to you. Religion is every person's personal choice. I consider myself an atheist. I researched every religion out there back when I was about 21, 22. I decided not to follow any of them and stay as I was. These days, if I'm going to put down any kind of religion, I put myself down as a demonist. So, I know that's not the same as a Satanist. People always ask me that. It's really fucking annoying. But I'm mainly an atheist, because I find it hard to believe in a God that would let the world go this much to shit. I mean, it boggles the mind. So I'm an atheist. So if you're converting to Islam for the right reasons, you see it as a better religion, a more peaceful religion, it more aligns with your views, whatever. Okay, fair enough, go for it. Convert to Islam. No one can stop you. I mean, no one can stop you anyway, but you know what I mean. But if you're doing it for the wrong reason, like you're a Jew-hating cunt, or because you agree with like ISIS, or because you've read Bin Laden's letter to America and think he's so fucking clever, because that's one of the reasons they're all doing it at the moment, apparently, well, then you're a fucking idiot. And you're just as bad as those girls during the time of ISIS that all went out to where fucking ISIS was to become their wives, and they all got fucking gang raped at the age of 15 by these fucking Muslims that were over there, right? And now they all want to come back to where they were before because they're sorry and they didn't know what they were doing. You made the choice, you fucking live with it. I've got no sympathy for you. I mean, obviously being raped or whatever, is a bad thing, and I can't prove that actually happened. But it can happen, and probably did in some situations. But you decided to go out there to marry one of these terrorists. You probably have a child with that terrorist. That terrorist is probably dead now, so you're a single mother raising a foreigner's kid, raising a foreign terrorist kid. You have to live with that for the rest of your life. And you possibly have to tell your child when they ask where their father is, who their father was. And I hope you'll be fucking honest and say they're a terrorist. Or were a terrorist, rather. Because if you tell them like he was a wonderful man, he was fighting against injustice, well, that kid's going to grow up to be just like him. And do you want to be raising another terrorist? Another generation of terrorists? Because So if you're converting to Islam for the right reason, fair enough. But if you're converting for the wrong reason, well, then you're a fucking moron and you should stop encouraging others to do the same thing. And I hate this term influencer. They're not influencers. They're just morons who upload videos. Like me. I'm a moron who uploads videos. I'll say it. I'm a moron. I'm not a complete idiot. Some parts are missing. Right? But I'm just a person who uploads videos. If I have any influence on your life, I'll be very fucking surprised. But if I have any influence on your life, fair enough. But I would never, ever call myself an influencer. I'm just a YouTube uploader. I'm just a guy. I'm just a typical, average Englishman here to react and learn about the weird shit that goes on in this world. So, what's the last thing I wanted to talk about before we get into a little extra crap? Oh yes, yeah. Snow White being released by Disney next year, I believe. Lots of problems going on with that at the moment. You know, Rachel Zegler being an idiot and possibly being fired, and whether or not they're actually going to have seven dwarves or not, and all that sort of stuff. And you say YouTube's own, it's not really YouTube's own, but YouTube's own Daily Wire have decided to weigh in and make their own Snow White film with Brett Cooper playing the role of Snow White. Now, I don't know about you, but I personally think that Brett Cooper looks more like Snow White than Rachel Zegler does. And I'm sure she'd be a much better person in the role. Apparently, she can sing as well, so, you know, she won't have any problems with that sort of thing. And I'm just wondering, though, Daily Wire, are you going to have real dwarves? Are you going to go out there to the dwarf community or the little people community or whatever we're supposed to fucking call them these days and, you know, contact some dwarf acting agency and say, we need seven dwarves to play seven dwarves? You know, are you going to go to Warwick Davis and say, can you send us seven dwarves? Possibly including yourself. Because, you know, you say you're going to make a proper remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So you're going to have actual real dwarves, aren't you? Well, I think whether it has actual real dwarves or not, it's probably going to be better than the woke piece of shit Disney's going to be putting out. And I hope you absolutely destroy it in the box office. I hope the Disney version gets fuck all and you get everything. Because maybe that'll be the one thing that actually tells Disney are absolute shit. So I will never watch the entire film. I've seen clips of the new Peter Pan and Wendy. No, not interested in seeing that. The last good live action Peter Pan was the one with Jeremy Sumpter playing the part of Peter Pan. But you know, they keep making all these live action remakes and they're not as good and they want to change the story and they want to make, you know, strong independent women and all this stuff, like girl bosses as you call them. And you know, this new Snow White is going to be an absolute pile of shit as well, it seems. So yeah, I hope the Daily Wire version absolutely trumps it at the box office. Donald trumps it, in fact. Yes, that is true. Brett Cooper does like the story of Snow White, and Rachel Zegler says she absolutely fucking hates it. So she's playing a character in a film that's a remake of a film she absolutely hates. I guess that proves you can't pick your roles. Unless you're John Wayne, of course. Brett Cooper, you know, she's a big Snow White fan, it seems, and I'm sure she'll enjoy playing the part, and I'm sure we'll all enjoy seeing it because, you know, it's going to be a lot better to actually see Snow White rather than what they call in Snow Woke. Uh, so before I get into telling about other great YouTubers, which is the other thing I put on my list here. I just want to ask you all a question. What is a woman? Sorry, I couldn't resist. No, actually, seriously, though, I want to ask you the question. Are trans women women? I think I said that right. So we've got some other YouTube users to shout out here. I'm a big fan of most of these people, so obviously Maya 2CTV, honest, what they call citizen reporter. It goes out, it films what's happening, and he shows everything. It's completely unedited. He does it all live, like this video, right? So it's not edited in any way, and he shows what really happens before BBC News and that start saying that, oh, these people were doing that and these people were doing that and these people were doing that. So Maya 2CTV, go and check him out. He's great. For some reason, I've got a hell of a lot of subscriptions to transsexual people. And yes, I said the word transsexuals. And if you don't like it, tough shit. There's Blair White, of course, Book Angel, Ty Rivera. He's not transsexual. He's just gay. But he's funny. And I like him, and he speaks the truth. So and he's very honest about voicing his opinions. So my kind of person. The Offensive Tranny, great name, absolutely great name. The Offensive Tranny. I always find that hilarious. Whenever I see he's got a new video, I'm like, yeah, the Offensive Tranny. And a wonderful person who people really need to listen to, especially young people thinking of transitioning and like parents who want their kids to transition, that sort of thing. You really need to go and listen to this person, Shapeshifter. I believe they're a detransitioner, and it's really good to go and listen to them. Oh, and Brianna Ivy is a detransitioner. Another person that'd be a really good idea to listen to before you make life-altering decisions about your life or your children's lives. And of course, as we all know, children cannot consent to sex, so children should not be able to consent to puberty block or any other transgender stuff. I don't want to call it gender-affirming care, I just said the term, because they just use that as a way to make you accept it. But when you look at it really, it's life-altering things. Medication, surgeries, it's life-altering, and you can't go back. People compare it to like getting a tattoo. Well, you can have a tattoo removed if you don't like it anymore. If you chop your cock off, you can't put it back. So yeah, and there's a lot of misinformation and that out there about all the pills and things and whether they're safe and all that sort of stuff. And most of these people that I've just mentioned, they actually point out the truth of it. They get the facts, and they share those facts. But people want to say that they're spreading misinformation or whatever. They're not spreading misinformation. They're spreading the correct information, and it's information you need to know before you make this sort of decision. Unless you're a child, then you can't make that decision anyway. Oh yes, oh yeah. All those people I've just mentioned, they'll all be whacked in a big list in the description. Because if you've noticed, the description says I'll be talking about many things that I don't know yet. Obviously, that will be changed now to say that I discuss, all these sort of things. Obviously, if you've got any kind of opinions or arguments about anything I've spoken about today or whatever, Obviously, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you agree, obviously, feel free to drop that in the comments as well, obviously. And I'll try to respond as much as possible. I've got nothing else to do, so I spend a lot of time recording videos and watching videos and all that sort of thing. Stay tuned for hopefully more live streams. God knows what about yet, but and obviously more other kinds of videos. And so, thank you to anyone and everyone, rather, to everyone. Thank you to everyone who joined me for my first ever YouTube live stream. Yeah, this fucking thing is weird. And if you don't agree with anything you say, with anything I said today, then you can all go to prison. I hope that actually comes up when I watch this back, because otherwise people are going to wonder what the fuck I'm talking about. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Oh, well, I say watching. Again, anyone who didn't catch the last stream will be watching. Just stop waffling and get on with it. Boop. Yeah, thank you everyone who joined me for the stream. Thank you for everyone who's going to watch afterwards. And stay tuned for more content from me. Either on this channel or on my other one. If I get it working again. Yeah, that about does it, I think. Alright. How the fuck do I stop this thing? Oh, press a big red button that says end stream. Oopsie. Oh, I click another button. Bloody hell. This is ridiculous.